Hey guys, Jonathan from JMR Productions. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a different video than I normally do. This isn't any sort of review. This is going to be a little bit more of a preview video for something that I'm going to be working on over the next, while. Some of you may know this, some of you may not, but it was announced a couple of days ago that Heroes is going to be coming back on the air next year on NBC. And it just about made my night when I saw that. Actually, it did make my night. It just about made my year. Heroes was one of my favorite shows ever. I loved it. And it was very disappointing to me when it got canceled. Now, I know that there's a lot of polarizing opinions on Heroes, and a lot of people think it went downhill, blah, 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 whatever. I don't think it did. I think that some of it was stronger than the rest of it, but I think it was all still good. So what I am going to do and what I want to do is I'm going to be posting 4 separate videos, each one a review of the different seasons. Now, as you can see, I have all 4 seasons, and I have seen them all, but I'm going to watch back through each season, and then I'm going to do a video and do a review of it. What I thought were the strong points, what I thought were the weak points. This is something that I've actually wanted to talk about ever since we started doing movie reviews over, almost 2 years now. We've been working on these in one form or another, and I've always wanted to sit down and talk about Heroes, but I hadn't done it yet. Now I have an excuse, and I'm going to do it. And this whole thing brought to my mind, in a lot of ways this is a dream. This is kind of one of the pipe dreams for fans, to have a show brought back on the air. And it's something that just doesn't happen after a show's been canceled. Sometimes there'll be spin-offs or things like that, but it's incredibly rare that a show will be canceled and then brought back. It's happened a couple of times recently. Arrested Development is one good example. Family Guy, it happened with that, but it's rare that it happens. So I asked a couple of people, if you could have a show come back, what would you like to see? And I got some interesting responses. I asked my family, my mom and dad and Michael, if you could have any show come back, what would you like to see? Whether it be a show that completed its run or was canceled early. My mom mentioned that she would like to see another Superman show. The one she specifically mentioned was The Adventures of Lois and Clark, which was a great show. And I think that it could be interesting if they did another show like that, because that was a show that I don't remember the ending of it. I remember watching it, and I remember very much enjoying the show, but I don't remember how it ended. But it doesn't matter. It's Superman. There's always more stories to tell. Another one she mentioned, which was a show that I really liked and that was canceled too early, was Early Edition. And that is a show that had a premise that can still work. And that's one of the important things, is the show would still have to work in today's society. And that's a show that could still work. I don't know how many of you remember that show, but it was very good. My dad mentioned 2 that I absolutely agree with, and that is 2 Aaron Sorkin shows that he did in the early 2000s / mid 2000s, and that was Sports Night which was on for 2 seasons and was a really good show, and Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which was a fantastic show. One of the best shows that you've never seen. It barely lasted a season, although it had a fairly satisfying closure to it. It was a show that wasn't done. They were able to fit in that good closure because they had some time. They knew they were getting canceled, but it didn't have to be over, and that was the important thing. It's a show that could still go on today, and the only reason why it got canceled was because of 30 Rock. And I'm sorry for anybody out there that loves 30 Rock, that's fine. I've seen a couple episodes. It's a decently funny show. Studio 60 was better, period. My brother mentioned two, and one of them was kind of interesting. He said that he would have loved to have seen the Full House spinoff that they had been tinkering with, and that was to show DJ in college. It would have been interesting, but it probably wouldn't have lasted, and he agrees with me on that. But it still would have been kind of cool to see. But the big one, which was a show that was just canceled last year, and that was Pan Am. Pan Am was a very good show. They had a lot of stories left to tell. It was a show that got canceled, so there was no closure to it. It actually almost kind of left it on a cliffhanger, and it was very disappointing that it got canceled. For me, there's a lot of shows that I would love to see come back on the air, and anybody that knows me even a little bit knows one that I'm going to say, and I'm just going to say the name. I'm not going to say anything else because there's nothing else that needs to be said. Firefly. Moving on from that one though, Dollhouse would be another one. Another Joss Whedon show. It was only on for 2 seasons, and it had one of the most interesting premises that I've ever seen on a TV show. Honestly. Complex, but at the same time, very simple. There's more. Terra Nova is another one that I would think of. I was really enjoying that show, and it got canceled, and that was kind of stupid. Alcatraz was another good one that only lasted a year, and I wasn't quite enjoying it as much near the end, but they had a lot of stories left to tell and a lot of things left unfulfilled. So, and I think that's really about it. I mean, there are a lot more, that I could go through, like the Playboy Club, and I don't even want to count that one because it didn't even last a full season. It only lasted 5 episodes. But that one hurt when it got canceled. But just something to think about. It kind of made me think back on some of the shows that I really liked that were short-lived. But anyway, since I'm going to be actually watching through the seasons before I do these reviews, I'm not sure when they're going to get posted because I'm going to be doing this as a secondary thing. I'm still going to be doing at least one movie review a week, and me and my brother are still doing our movie reviews together along with everything else that we have going on. So I'm not sure how often these are going to get posted, but I'm going to try to watch a couple episodes here and there, throughout the week. So it might be a couple of weeks before you see the first one, but just wanted to give you a little preview of what I'm going to be talking about. Speaking of superheroes, shoot on over to our 3 cents page and you can see our next movie review up, where we talk about one of the greatest superheroes ever, Batman. Check that out. Anyway, I'll see you guys with my next video. See you on the flip side. Thanks for watching.